I'm getting a little bit nervous about Gervonta Davis. Leonard Ellerbe, if you guys don't know Leonard, he's obviously been a part of making probably the biggest fights in the sport of boxing in boxing history. Obviously, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. He's basically Floyd Mayweather's right-hand man. He knows everything that goes on with Al Heyman. He knows everything that goes on with PBC, and PBC kind of runs the sport right now. So it's important that we listen to what he's saying and try to take little bits and pieces of what he's saying and kind of break it down, because Gervonta Davis obviously is no longer with Mayweather Promotions, but let's not forget that he's still a PBC fighter. He's an Al Heyman fighter, and Floyd Mayweather has said it on numerous occasions that when you're talking about PBC, you're talking about Al Heyman, you're also talking about Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions. Even if Gervonta Davis isn't technically with Mayweather Promotions anymore, he's obviously with his own promotion, GTD Promotions. But now, I was getting a little bit, concerned because Leonard was talking about Tank, and then he was being asked questions like, do we see the Shakur fight happening soon? Do we see the Devin Haney fight happen soon? And Leonard kind of just responded and said, the time's not right. We'll make these fights happen when the time is right. And my issue with that is, I understand boxing. I understand the financial and I understand the negotiation aspect of boxing. You have to make both fighters satisfied, and ultimately, no matter how much negotiating you do, the fight's not official until both fighters sign that dotted line. And for Tank, I feel like at this point in his career, as he slowly approaches 30, but you know how boxing is, you fight once, twice a year. Tank's been relatively active, but I think it's been since the Ryan Garcia fight, there hasn't been any word about his next move, what he's planning to do. Does he plan to stay at 35 longer? Will he eventually go up to 40 in the near future, or is that something that is more down the line? Because right now we don't know. We don't know what Tank's plan is. It seems like it's going to be Isak Cruz, because that's what everybody's asking for, because he's basically beaten everybody that was a threat that's still available for a fight. We have Shakur, who's locked in for a fight versus De Los Santos, and you have Haney and Regis Prograis. So really all that's left is the Loma fight. Could have been big, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen because Loma wanted the Haney fight, and I don't know if Tank is open to fighting Loma. He never said anything about it. But I'm just worried about the aspect of waiting too long for Tank, just because I know Tank's ready for these big fights. I know he's ready for Loma. I know he's ready for Devin. I know he's ready for Shakur. But I don't know how I feel about the constant waiting. I think I'd like to hear Tank say, I want this guy, I want this guy. Because he's missing out on a lot of resume fights that, people would use to give him more credit. I feel like as good as he is, as great of the performances that he's putting on right now, people are never going to give him that credit, because resume-wise, I think you could argue that Devin Haney, Tiafimo, maybe not Shakur yet, but those guys have better resumes. I think that Ryan Garcia is the biggest win on Tank's record, and at the same time, I don't think that Ryan was ever on his level, so we really don't know what's going to happen when Tank gets tested, against the elite level of fighters. I think I would pick Tank to beat Devin, but Shakur and Tank, I've talked about it before, I think that's the best fight in the sport of boxing right now. I think that's the highest level of chess that there is, and Shakur has been on the record saying it, and Shakur, no one really wants to fight him. I've talked about it before. He's in a difficult spot where it's too risky to fight him for the reward, because he's technically not on that superstar level of Gervonta Davis. He said it in an interview recently on a podcast on $1 Million Worth of Game. He said that Shakur was saying, he can't really shoot another offer at a guy like Tank, because Tank is the face of boxing. He's the superstar. So Shakur was basically, he was keeping it 100. He can't counter offer Tank, because Tank's that shot caller. He's earned the right, not because he has belts, because he doesn't have a legitimate world title at 35. You could call him the regular super, all that random stuff. But at the same time, Devin Haney, was the one holding those real belts, and now Shakur is going to be fighting for them. So still, Shakur is giving Tank the respect, because why? Because he's bringing in all the money, he's bringing in all the pay-per-view buys, he's bringing the eyeballs to the sport, to that particular fight. So Shakur knows the value that Tank brings. So Shakur does think that that's a big fight in the future. I don't know how realistic it is for, you know, the near future in terms of this, the end of this year and next year. I don't think that's realistic because obviously Shakur is locked in for a fight in November. But I think that we need to see Tank back in the ring real soon, and I guess it's gonna be Isak Cruz, but at the same time, like, I need things to start moving a little bit faster. I need Tank to start fighting guys like Loma, Devin, Shakur, like, or Regis Prograis, Frank Martin, any of those names. Like, we just need Tank in there with somebody who's going to test it. And I'm not blaming Tank. I'm just saying, you know, I know his advisors are trying to put him in the best position, make him look good, but he's going to look good, like, regardless. I think that, except Shakur is a very tough fight. Shakur is a tough fight for him. T.O. is a tough fight. Devin's a pretty tough fight. But everyone else I would expect Tank to beat, you know, in convincing fashion. Devin, I still pick Tank. T.O., that's like, it's just, that's a firefight that is very hard to pick. But I just think that we need to see Tank in there with, you know, better competition just to build the resume, because he's approaching 30, and I think he has all the talent in the world. But just so that people aren't always discrediting him, saying, yeah, he knocks people out, but who is he really fighting? But, you know, on paper, I think once we see those bigger names, Tank's gonna get his just due and get his credit, rightfully so. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think Tank really needs to start pressing on the gas and fighting these big names, or should, you know, he keep it at this rate that he's going right now and like taking his time and come back when he's ready and don't rush anything? But for me, I think there should be a little bit more of a sense of urgency from his team to, you know, make those big fights happen. I think the waiting game sometimes doesn't always work out as you planned, and I think now's the time. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
That's going to do it for another NASFIGHT Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.